I believe last night James Harden dropped a triple-double, scoring 60 points, becoming the first ball player in the NBA to do that. Big ups to him. And it got people saying that James Harden is top three, better than Dwayne Wade, better than Kobe Bryant. And, it's a lot of misinformed NBA people out there, or fans. But I'm back. TBC and more. We do more than boxing. I know what it is. And, I've been watching James Harden for a while in the NBA. And most definitely he's a talented guy, especially with the ball in his hand. And I'm taking nothing away from James Harden, but everything I'm about to say is factual. And he's definitely a system player, putting up these numbers in D'Antoni's system. Same thing Steve Nash did. But may it be D'Antoni and some James Harden, when it's time to win championships or win conference championships for Mike D'Antoni and James Harden, or when it's time to be in big playoff moments, people tend to forget both of their failing passes. And both has failed on the highest level. Now, D'Antoni's closest thing to get into a championship was the year Robert Horry banged Steve Nash into the table and cut his eye and changed that series. I thought Phoenix was really going to the championship that year with Steve Nash. But they didn't. And James Harden, as well, has a history of coming up short in the playoffs. And people want to measure, people's greatness in the regular season. In the regular season, it has something to say about their greatness. Don't get me wrong. Without the regular season, you can't get to the postseason and stuff of that nature. But, playoffs is where legends are born. Playoffs is where, Hall of Famers are really born. And people get caught up in regular season stats in the wrong advanced stats they are. Having the advanced stats, I don't believe in that bull crap, What are you doing when it's time to win, in winning time? And James Harden has repeatedly showed that he's not a winner. Going back to Oklahoma City, back when they played in Miami, was it 11, 12 or something like that, finals? James Harden pulled the biggest Houdini disappearing act that I've seen in my life. He did not show up. And if he showed up, that series might have been different. He choked when he was with Houston. When they played the Golden State Warriors, I think before Golden State became Golden State. I can't remember the year. They could have went up 2-0 on Golden State, and I believe James Harden had two epic fails in the fourth quarter with the ball in his hand, turning the ball over, and not getting a shot off in both of those games or something of that nature. He choked there. Last year, people tend to forget, just 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago, whatever it was, not even a full calendar year, people forget James Harden, lost to a Kawhi-less San Antonio Spurs without two of their starters, without Kawhi Leonard, and without Tony Parker. At home in Houston, I believe it forced the game 6. He was nowhere to be found. Anytime the pressure is put on James Harden, he folds. And that's one of the reasons they bought CP3 here, is to be able to control the ball and can run the offense in crunch time. Because James Harden, as much as people get on LeBron James about being clutch and winning time, James Harden is worse than LeBron James when it comes to making game-winning plays in the playoffs. And people tend to forget that it's two sides of the ball as well. James Harden is a defensive liability. Maybe it's those tight shorts that he wears, but he's trying. But it's not just about putting the ball in the hole. It's about, can you stop somebody from putting the ball in the hole? And Mike D'Antoni history is the same. He don't care about defense. But in the playoffs, when it slows down and you can't run and gun all day, and you got to make plays in the half court, James Harden ain't the point guard you want, or the combo guards you want, the shooting guards you want, making those decisions and making people get into place, running the offense. And people forget, the point guard's job is just not, they judging point guard on assists and turnover ratio. Does he get the offense settled down and get them in a rhythm and get them in their sets? He's the leader on both ends of the court. And people forget that. People just so enamored with people, with guards putting the ball in the hole. It's not true. That's not all you required to do when you the primary ball handler now. You got to get these guys in sets. And so much offense is now just pick and roll, pick and pop, ISO. And when you get to the playoffs, that shit don't work no more. Teams hone in on that. They can game plan for you now. They know your weaknesses. And that's why, Houston just comes up short. And hopefully Chris Paul can fix some of that. But Chris Paul hasn't had any playoff success neither. He went to the conference final with New Orleans and David West and Tyson Chandler back in the day. But he ain't had too much success as well, and due to injuries and just his shortcomings. But I think I think Chris Paul is gonna try to right that ship this year. I like Houston's chances a little bit going to the conference finals, but like I said, James Harden, people tend to forget he a choke artist. You all want to get on LeBron, but James is a way worse choke artist than LeBron James. All these numbers in the regular season, and then this dude disappear and pull a "Now You See Me" 3, and you can't nowhere to be found. And people forget that. Regular season don't mean nothing to me for the most part. You get your team there. What you doing when it really matters? And no matter the stage, no matter the competition, when push comes to shove, this guy disappears. That's all I got for y'all. We out.